We've also talked a lot of Halloween. I broke out my Halloween costume, which is at Kyle Brandt on Twitter. I'm Brandt from Goonies, Brandt. I got shorts over my sweatpants and a headband and 2 sweatshirts on. But I also had to get this off my chest. The guy that I hate the most on Halloween, because really that's what Halloween has become. Everyone just talking about how much we hate everyone and who's our least favorite person. For me, it's the children locked in the basement type weirdo on your block who takes the idea of decorating the house for Halloween from a couple of pumpkins to like a full-on Knott's Scary Farm or Six Flags Fright Fest, complete with, you name it, the gravestone, the multiple soundtracks buried in the bushes, strobe lights. I'm not talking cobwebs on the bushes. I'm talking severed heads in the bushes, trails of blood, and not a rinky-dinky little iPod Bose bass in a bush. He's got subwoofers playing stuff like this, and then screams and stabs. And there's always one house on the block, and it's the guy who just lives for Halloween. Halloween is his Christmas, his birthday put to one. And here's the problem. Wow, that guy went out and he's the guy who went to the Halloween store and paid $4,999 for the 8-foot Grim Reaper that talks. He's the guy that bought that. You go to the store, you're like, who the hell buys that? This guy. And he also bought the clown head back in '89 for $2,000, and he still has it. The problem with that, the problem with him having a talking dummies and extras, his friends walking around in Walking Dead makeup around his property, jumping out of bushes, and the severed limbs, bloody skulls. This guy thinks Halloween is about bringing the Saw movie to life and bringing it to your neighborhood. The problem with that is he scares the hell out of kids. This is my first Halloween as a father. My kid is only just short of 11 months. He doesn't walk. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. But still, when we take him around in a little wagon today in his Ewok costume, there's a lot of things that could scare him. And if you read all the parenting paperwork and the leaflets and whatnot for Halloween, it says, walk your block. Know what houses you're going to. Because, and not even for safety's sake or creepy neighbors putting things in the candy. It's when you walk up the walkway, all right, and you're, oh, look at this, there's a little skeleton, that's cute. And when you get in 5 feet of the skeleton with your kid, it's got a sensor on it that detects someone's there, and at full volume, it's screaming things like this.
Happy Halloween, little children. I'm going to murder you in your sleep tonight.
And then your kid is crying.
Trick or treat.
Your kid is screaming, crying. You have to go home. The whole night's ruined. He won't sleep all night. He's traumatized. And that's just because some idiot had to put the animatronic skeleton on the walkway that senses pedestrians. Let me tell you something. What kind of pedestrians are you expecting? It's kids. Trick-or-treating is for kids. I dressed them in a costume today. I like Halloween. But I'm not running around the houses, jumping over hedges, asking for Mounds bars. That's the kids. That's who's coming to your house. Why would you put that out? And I'm not talking about 12-year-olds either. Little kids. They've got this thing out early when it's still daylight. Can I not walk on my property with my child without running into something like this?
Trick or treat. I'm going to stab your parents. Happy Halloween.
Happy therapy sessions, child psychologist. Thanks for letting me pay for that. Most people, they got a jack-o'-lantern or two on their porches. He's got this guy has a bunch of dolls lined up, creepy, expressionless China dolls with those eyes that blink, and one of them is blinking, one of them's open, they're expressionless. But then when you walk past them, what do you know? One of those things talks too.
Come on my lawn, and I'll kill you.
Unbelievable. And you want to take the thing and smash it as a parent. And you know what the problem is, too? You walk up this guy's lawn, and the soundtrack, and the dummies, and the talking animals, and the talking werewolves, what have you, and you start to map it out. You're like, all right, we're going to steer clear of that for sure. That thing is going to scare my kid. That thing is going to scare my wife. That thing is going to scare me. And you're like, okay, there appears to be Oh, it looks like a vampire dummy sitting in a chair. There's a scarecrow and there's a mummy. I know at least one of those is going to be some jerk who's actually alive and pretending to look like a dummy so that when I walk past it, he's going to go, "Ugh!" And we're all going to urinate at the same time and run, and my kid's going to cry. I know that's going to happen. Which one is it? Maybe it's the scarecrow. Maybe it's the mummy. I know one of them isn't a dummy. And it's a guessing game. It's walking through a minefield because no matter what, before you walk off that property with the little box of nerds, your child is getting traumatized. That's happening to me tonight. If my kid cries because there's some stupid Frankenstein who says something like this to him, I'm cracking skulls.
Happy Halloween, little children. I'm going to murder you in your sleep tonight. Hey, fat kid. Come over here. You like to drink your own blood?
It's just disgusting. You know, you walk through the minefield, you get to the front door, you're too scared to speak, you're panicked, your head's on a swivel, because you know they're going to have something where when the door opens, these spiders drop down on bungee cords in front of your face, and they're swinging, and you scream again. Worse, you're too scared to speak, the kids are, or they're crying too hard to ask for candy. It's not supposed to be an obstacle course of nightmares. It's not a gauntlet. It's supposed to be fun. Fun for the kids, not for you, psychopath. You can't tell me there's not something strange. Like the ink blot test doesn't bear well for what this guy's going to see if he wants to litter his whole lawn with corpses and death traps for children. I get into the mood. I decorate all that stuff. This guy, it's like you're going through the house in Nightmare on Elm Street, or again, one of those Saw movies. You haven't had a good Halloween until you've gotten candy. He hasn't had a good Halloween until he's gotten someone to actually faint on his front porch. And he always, by the way, here's the worst part. When you brave all the nightmares and the scythes and the axes and the cats and the monsters, when you get up there, this guy's got the crappiest candy on the whole block. Worst candy there is. Because he's blown all his money on motion sensors and laser shows and death traps. All he can afford every single time. You know what candy he's going to? He's going to have a big old bucket of Biddo honey. You know that honey-flavored taffy that they stopped making around the Civil War, but there's still a bunch of it around? This guy gives that out. You got to be kidding me. I just punched out your animatronic werewolf for telling my kid he's going to bite his face off to get up here and get a 1x2-inch block of stale Biddo honey? Get a life, creep. Halloween is about the kids. It's not about you having out your darkest secrets. You're supposed to be giving out candy, not post-traumatic stress syndrome, all right? Can't stand it. I know I'm going to run into that tonight. Laugh it up, Vincent. You're the guy with the house, Vince. This guy says, I saw a dude with full lawn of horrors geared at traumatizing Utes here in Santa Barbara. However, I was shocked to see dude inked, sucking on a heater, and above all, fat. I'm not shocked at any of those things. Those people definitely drink. Ugh, of course they're fat, too. It's the one day area they actually work is putting up all their horrors.